Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. When I left you last time in part 1, we just pulled into the Pukenui Pacific Takeaways for lunch. And this is licensed, great service, good food, and it's got a little grocery store attached to it as well. So we can fully recommend that. But we just popped down to this little side street there, right opposite, and there's the wharf there, so it's got gas down there and pay at the pump. And yeah, very good. Yeah, hi everybody, I'm Goose. Welcome to my channel, Loose with Goose. Well, this is day 5 of the CMA Taupo chapters Northland tour of 2021, and this is part 2. This is from lunchtime onwards, so we stopped in and had lunch there. This place here is great, power pies and all sorts of other kai moana going on there. Would like to have stopped in on the way back, but didn't have the chance. And actually lucky to actually be there, because just in a few 100 metres time, it came to the closest they had of having a good accident. We're going to slow down here into slow motion. And you can see exactly why, because these cattle came across. This leading cattle beast here, he was about 1 metre off my shoulder. I thought he was going to have me there. And I've got to say that there was quite a large crease in the saddle. Everything sort of clenched up, but the adrenaline was fair pumping through. But we got over that and got on, and there was a lot of thank you Lord for saving this old biker. Yeah, a lot of prayer of thanksgiving going on there, that's for sure. Coming through a little village, there's a few of these scattered about, just little settlements as we go further north. One of the things you'll find up here is a lot of these little one-way bridges. You seem to follow the river along, or the estuary or whatever, then suddenly there'll be a sharp turn, 90-degree turn, go across the bridge, go along, and then you'll be back out the other way and follow it across. It makes for some interesting riding. And as you'll see as we go through, there's some quite diverse scenery too. Really nice stuff, and you'll find that the sea isn't very far away either. You're just coming into view on the right hand side. You're only a few 100 metres away from it, pretty much all the way up. And if you noticed on the map that the peninsula is quite narrow here as it goes through, so you're not very far away. And then the vista just opens out into this beautiful rolling farmland. Lovely country. It's a beautiful place up here in Northland, and we'll certainly be coming back to it, that's for sure. And just like that big white strip you can see on the right hand side, I thought originally was surf, but it's not. It's actually a sand hill, these sand dunes. Okay, something interesting here. After my little scare with the cattle before, when we left the tour, I went and saw we went and stayed with my brother-in-law for a night on our way back home, and he's a JP, and he sat on the bench in Whangarei. But he had a complaint about cattle being on the road, so he followed it up. And what he told me was quite interesting. I'll paraphrase it slightly, but what's happening that anyone driving, or cattle or sheep or whatever being driven or being droved, have the right of way on New Zealand roads. We are the ones who need to steer clear and take all due care. However, if they're just roaming around, they're not under control, and something untoward happens, then the responsibility then lies with the owner, or whoever was supposed to be taking care of the cattle. Now see this dog here, now if I'd hit him, I'd have been in the gun, because he was coming back to the owner. I needed to take due care that I wasn't in the way of that stock being shifted and being moved. So there we are, that's a bit of information for you. So when you're riding and driving around this fair country of ours, you come across this quite a lot. So just take care, but that's the legal position. Now we're just coming here into Waitiki Landing, and that was Waitiki Landing going past. But the important part about that is that's the last fuel you've got before you get to Cape Reinga, which isn't all that far on. It's only another half, 3/4 of an hour up the road. And this is the turn off here to the giant sand dunes. Now people get up there, they ski down them, toboggan down them, roll down them, do all sorts of things, and then work their way back up and do it again. And not really for me, because I don't really fancy my Y-fronts full of that pretty stuff. So, but a lot of people like it, and apparently it's a fairly phenomenal sight. And it's one we'll have to go and have a look at next time we're up here. As you can see, the countryside is starting to change a bit. That red soil you can see, that's almost volcanic in the look of it, and it may well be. I'm not a geologist, so I couldn't tell you. But the scenery itself is just starting to change as we go up, and we're almost up to Cape Reinga now. And the thing with Cape Reinga, I got quite excited about this. For to me, this is the highlight of the whole trip, really, because since I was in primary school, and that's 60 odd years ago, I've heard about Cape Reinga, listened to it, and heard about the Māori myth and the soul run with the goblets back to Hawaii, and the country, the general history, and the meeting point of the oceans, of the Pacific Ocean and of the Tasman Sea up here. So to me, it was a bit surreal coming up here. Now I've been around while we were riding, I was trying to find the two oceans before we got there, and I just got a glimpse then on the right of the Pacific Ocean. And although it doesn't pick it up, I saw a glimpse of the Tasman there too. But as I was saying, I've been around the world a little bit, and in China was one of the places I thought was absolutely fantastic. I've stood on the Great Wall of China, and having heard about that and the photographs and all the rest of it. But this place here, this just blows it away, for me anyway, because this is part of my country. This is part of New Zealand. This is where I live. This is my home. And coming up through here was almost a spiritual, not quite, but almost a spiritual thing, because it had been probably built up in my mind over a lot of years. And to be honest, I wasn't disappointed. It's just a stunning place. And there's our three guests. That's David and Jill and their son Tim on the left. And they stayed with us they had lunch with us, and then we all rode up together. And very nice people they are too. And there's looking out towards the Tasman. You can see the bit of rough water over there. We'll come back to that in a minute. So this is all part of the walk down to the lighthouse and to the furthest point, the northern point of New Zealand. That's looking back towards Spirits Bay, and that's where the two bodies of water meet, the Pacific on the right and the Tasman Sea on the left. And here we are panning back down towards the bay. This is down on the eastern side, and just panning back around. An absolutely beautiful place, stunning place to be. So there we are, folks. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to ride free, and of course, God bless.